Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Monday, the 6th of October, 2014. This is episode 98, background noise. Grab some sticks and string, come sit with me. Yeah, there's just going to be background noise. I've been waiting for over 2 hours for my house to quiet down, and I think this is as good as it's going to get. So sorry if there's noise going on. I can't wait any longer because I need to record this so I can edit it and take a nap before work. This week was pretty cool. Mara's birthday was yesterday, and we made cake, and I had a cupcake this morning, which is why my lips are blue. It is what it is. Gabriel had his first fundraising event at school. It was a booster-thon fun run. So people pledged either a flat donation or per lap. The lap was about a 16th of a mile. Gabriel ran, I don't know, above 50. I think 53 or 54. But they stopped counting at 35. Like that was the cap for donation purposes. He had a lot of fun, and he was not winded at all. He's been telling me for a while that he wants to do a marathon. So I think maybe because he's still interested, we might do a 5K next year. He's totally way more fit than I am, so that might happen. I don't know. Finish or frog it. You guys are doing so good. So good. Do I sound fake enthusiastic? Because I'm actually real enthusiastic. I'm just also really tired. I got to sleep late last night, and then Gabriel woke up 45 minutes before the alarm went off, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm ready for nap time. So just know that if it sounds like fake enthusiasm, it's actual real enthusiasm. You guys are doing awesome for Finish or Frog It. So of course I'd love to see the finished objects, but I really kind of love to see people frogging things that aren't going to be worked on, because I have things sitting around. Well, I don't have things sitting around that should be frogged, but I have things sitting around looking at me, guilting me because I should be working on them. But if I did have something that needed to be frogged, I would probably look at it and be like, oh, but you were so much work. So I kind of love looking at that, and that you guys have a reason to frog your things that have been sitting around. I think that's fantastic. The prizes, we have two. We have a skein of yarn from Daisy Knits. It's the Hardy 2.0 base, and it is in the colorway Wicked Cool. And then we have a single shot bag from Kitchen Counter Crafter, which has a very autumnal theme: foxes, acorns, leaves, orange and green. It comes with stitch markers and a note card. Yes. Adorable. You guys are getting close to unlocking the third prize. There might be 3 prizes for this knit along. I don't think that's happened before. Anything that you finished or frogged between September 1st and October 31st counts. And if it's something that you finished that was started before September 1st, you can post it twice. Excuse me. A picture taken of your progress before September 1st and then a finished object picture. The tag for this is BPHFOF14, and I have another project for it. So last month my project was Waklala Falls, and this month I've been working on this particular pair of socks for an embarrassingly long amount of time, and not working on it. It's been sitting there looking at me. This is the Nightingale socks by Vintage Pearl. I pulled them out, and I have been working on them. The safety pin is where I was when I put it in hibernation. I think So when I started this project, I was like, okay, that's complicated. I like to go big or go home when I'm learning new things. I think I bit off too much for my first colorwork project. It was too much. I've since done a few pairs of colorwork socks, and now I'm ready to tackle this. Also, it's a little difficult because I'm working with black yarn, so I can only work on it when there's daylight, which isn't too bad. I mean, today is overcast, but I can still see what I'm doing. Yeah, so this will be my finisher frog project, which I won't frog it. I'm going to finish it. For full disclosure, it has some issues where I didn't read the chart correctly, most notably right here. The two rows right below where those colors start, they're also supposed to have color, and I don't know, autopiloted across that section of stitches. So I'm not tinking back 2 rounds though, because that's a lot to tink back in color work, especially since the bottom of the feet are like that. So at least they're both messed up the same because I'm doing them 2 at a time, which is the benefit to doing things 2 at a time. If you mess one up, you mess them both up the same. So design feature, right? The yarn that I'm using for that is Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in black, and a Yarn Well Spun, which is a local dyer to me, in the Wind in the Willows colorway. I'm knitting those on US size 2 2.75 millimeter needles. I finished the Waklala Falls socks, so here they are, both socks all blocked out. I really, really like the way these turned out. I'm going to show you the top again because I just think that's so cool. I really, really, really enjoyed this pattern. It's Waklala Falls by Michelle Dotson. I used Knit Pick Stroll in the Sorbet multi-colorway. Worked it on US size 1, 2.25 millimeters. It's worked primarily in short rows. And even though I was a little bit over short rows, I really liked these socks. Maybe I just need my short rows to be really, really short right now, and I will like that. It's really good, totally worth the money that Lisa spent to buy me the pattern. Thank you, Lisa. Love it. I will definitely be making these socks again sometime. Not super soon, but soon-ish. I also finished Mermaid for Mara for her birthday. This is I think it's Mickey, M-I-C-I, by Lydia Trisselt, and the pattern I modded a lot. There's a part that I didn't do at all, which was there's supposed to be a little ring for the mermaid, like a life preserver type ring. Didn't make that. The pattern, the torso is skin colored, but I have a hard enough time convincing Mara that she needs to stay dressed all the time, so I decided not to go with that.
Mara be silly.
Mara is silly. I had gauge issues with this yarn, which I'll tell you all about in a minute. So I made the head, I used smaller stitch count for the head, and the arms I made shorter, but used the same stitch count, so that's why they look so huge. The yarn I used was all acrylic from my stash, so Red Heart Super Saver in buff. The blue is I think it's a TLC yarn, which I think is Red Heart, but I'm not sure. I lost the ball band a really long time ago. I had it when I was in college. And then the bright multicolor were mill ends, so I don't actually know the fiber content or the colorway or what it was. I had some gauge issues, which caused me to have to alter the pattern. The multi-fun bright colored yarn, I made a blanket out of it, and it was It worked up like a light worsted, so I thought it would be okay to put with the Red Heart Super Saver, that they would be close enough in gauge. No, definitely not. As I was crocheting the arm, it was probably 10 rounds too long. Not the pattern's fault, totally because the yarn gauge was different. So I shortened both arms by about 10 rounds. I should have ripped them out and just made them smaller around too, but Mara doesn't care, so it's fine. And then I had to take out a lot of rounds on the head because it would have just been comical looking. It was, I was following the pattern and I got about halfway through and it was looking like Lilo's doll from Lilo and Stitch, you know, the one with the bugs in her head, and she's sad because she's got bugs in her head and she's, yeah. That's what it was looking like, so I ripped it out and kind of winged it a little bit. I think it turned out really good though. It's not the best toy mermaid ever made, but it is Mara's favorite toy mermaid. I have a story. So yesterday I gave Mara her mermaid, and that was exciting, that was great. And then sometime mid-morning, Gabriel started freaking out. No, Mara, that's mine. And I was like, what is going on? Mom, Mara won't give me my dragon. Mara, that is Gabriel's dragon. No, it's my dragon. Mara, it's Gabriel's dragon. No, it's Mara's dragon. Mara, you have Mara's mermaid. That's Gabriel's dragon. No, Gabriel can have the mermaid. No, Gabriel's dragon. That went on for like 5 minutes. And then finally she gave Gabriel back his dragon and she took the mermaid. So yeah, it's good that Mara likes what I'm making for her, but not so good that she keeps trying to steal Gabriel's. And then she tried to trade the mermaid away. I think it's just because she's been holding the dragon hostage for longer, so she's more attached to it. One more thing about the mermaid, I crocheted that on a USG hook, 4.25. The pattern is probably written for fingering weight, as most of them have been, and it's probably written for a size like B crochet hook, but I was using worsted, or what I thought was worsted, so I went up to a G. Works in progress. So over my shoulder, nope, not that shoulder, over this shoulder, if you look up, you can see that the singles are up there. I finished spinning both singles of the Hobbledehoy merino silk bat in the shadow, not bat, braid, in the Shadow Walled colorway. And I've started plying, but I've barely started plying, so I'm not going to show that to you. Maybe I'll show it next week. Hopefully it will be finished next week, but we'll see. I don't know. This fiber is taking me particularly long, I feel. But I do have a fiber that did not take very long. This fiber is from Chamomile Connection. It is also merino silk. You can't even see it. The colorway is Diablo. It is 4.3 ounces, and I have finished spinning the 4 ounces, 4.3 ounces, and it's come undone right at the end there, but I'm spinning it pretty thickly. I did spin it pretty thickly. That's all that's left of that particular fiber. And the plan is to spin this, which I think, I don't remember what this is. I'd have to look. It's in my Ravelry stash. I'm going to spin this, and then I'm going to ply the two of these together and have a bulky type yarn. It's fun. I haven't spun a bulky yarn in a long time. I think the last time I spun a bulky was maybe my second spinning fiber. I spun some Cordale. I think that was a bulky. I know I spun some worsted. I don't think I've done a bulky since my second spinning. I don't know. Don't know for sure. but this is going to be bulky. It's going to be pretty fantastic. The plaid cowl I worked on, but it's not really enough progress to even show you, and it's sitting in my bedroom. So next week. And then all sorts of things that I cast on. I cast on some socks. These will be Pippin by Claire Ellen. Right now it's just the ribbing. I have one more round of ribbing, and then I can start the pattern, and the lighting is just crazy today. So background noise and horrible lighting. It is what it is. This is the yarn that I'm using. It is Spartacus dyes in, I believe the colorway is called Cotton Candy. It was part of the carnival themed yarn club that she did with Hippie Penguin. It is the Braverman sock base, so it is a superwash merino. I think it's superwash merino. No, maybe not. Superwash merino and silk base. So it's super soft. So that's better color. Let's see, better color, better color. Oh yeah, those are better color too. So there you go, better color. I'm working those on US size 1, 2.25 millimeter, and they will be much cooler next week when it's not just ripping for cuffs. I started a hat using my hand spun. This is the Cloud Lover, the merino superwash merino silk in the blackberry truffle colorway, and this is the skein that was the support spindle single that I had leftovers of, and this is where I used a support spindle and a drop spindle to make the yarn, and then I applied it together. So that's what it looks like. I ended up winding this into a ball by hand because I called my sister on her birthday, and I was going to wind the yarn, and then I was talking to her on the phone for a really, really long time. So instead of using my ball winder, which is kind of loud, I just did it by hand, which I liked because it's hand wound balls are so much prettier than cakes. Like, cakes are nice, they're very functional, but this is prettier. So I started knitting a hat, and it is the Capucine, maybe, Capucine, by Adela Ilikmanova. Links in show notes. It's got a really cool construction. You start working flat, and there's ribbing, garter stitch, and then you change to working in the round to stockinette stitch, and I don't know, it's a really cool fit. Let's get my hair out of there. So it looks something like this, or it will, minus the pigtails sticking out. I'm probably a third, no, maybe a little less, maybe a quarter of the way through the stockinette portion before I will start the crown decreases. And this yarn is so soft. Why do I not knit with my hand spun? I don't know. I like to spin it, but I don't love, like, okay, it's not that I don't love to knit with it, it's that I spin it and then I'm like, okay, now it's a finished object. Now I don't need to use it for anything else. But this is amazing. It's so soft, and I know that the garter stitch helps it be squishy, but it's just so soft, and the colors are lovely. Love how it's striping up like that. I love this so much. So maybe I will eventually stop spinning pretty much for Josh, and then spin something for myself to knit with. I don't know. That's crazy talk. It probably won't happen. It will probably still be mostly spinning for other people, but maybe I will knit with my hand spun, because I love this so much. I also started a pair of socks, another kid's pair of socks, so it's going to be tube socks with graduated ribbing. I have this much done. So I'm through the stockinette portion, and right here I started the first ribbing bit. The yarn I'm using is Premier Serenity Sock in the Harlequin colorway, so very Mardi Gras. I am knitting these for Robert, who is Amanda's non-bio child. My hair is a mess. Look at that. Much better. But still, you know, her child. He's still, his bio mom even calls Amanda his other mom. So, like, yeah. Blood doesn't make family. It may be a jumping off point, but blood doesn't make family. Anyway, I'm not going to get on that rant. I am planning on doing 2 pairs of kids socks this month because there's going to be a lot of time where I need to be able to take knitting that's super easy to just work on and not think about, like while we're trick-or-treating. And there are at least 2 trick-or-treating events this month. So I'm going to need something for those. And I went to his fun run thing to watch him run laps. So I did a little bit of knitting while I was waiting for them to come in and stuff. It was just a quick, easy project to take. Anyway, I was actually going to start on the other pair of socks first, which is pink, is for Cecilia. But then I was talking to my sister, again, on her birthday, and she told me the best story ever. Last week sometime, she was dropping off her kids at their dad's house so that she could go to work. And Robert was taking off his shoes, and Dennis, that's their dad, looked over and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're disgusting. Go wash your feet and put those socks in the washing machine. You've been wearing them for like 3 days. And Robert was like, "Dad, these are my lucky socks and they're magic. They don't get dirty." Talking about the pair of socks that I made him last year for Christmas. So I had to cast on his right away. That needed to be the next pair that was happening, because how awesome is that? Magic lucky socks. You can't argue with something like that. That's amazing. I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, so I'm knitting these on US size 1, 2.25 millimeter needles, and they're going along very well. They're very, very, very simple. Okay, so I've been throwing around this idea of making the tube socks into, like, not a pattern, but a recipe. Would anybody be interested in that? Just so that, like, I would figure out the numbers percentage and then probably do a really quick chart of some numbers for kid sizes that you could work up really easily, but of course you can change numbers and make it work for whatever. Would anyone be interested in that? I know I've been super fail about patterns. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I need to get those footy socks out, and I don't even know if my test knitter is still interested, and I feel like a total fail. That pattern is just going to be a lot of work to write up. I don't think it will be too difficult to knit up, because I didn't find it difficult to knit up. It's just going to be a lot to write up, which is why it hasn't happened yet. I just feel like I'm so busy all the time. I don't even know how all this knitting happens, honestly. I have no idea. I just don't ever stop moving, so I think that's how, except when I'm sleeping. Anyway, a lot of rambling. New things. I have some. They are all in E format. So the first thing is that Josh sent me his Dragon Rhyme pattern. It's a triangular shawl. It started at the shortest piece, the shortest wedge, and then worked out in short rows to be something longer. I don't know if there's a picture of the full shawl in this pattern. Let me look. It takes 2 colors, and no, there's not a full picture in this. There's actually 2 files to this. So in this file, there's not a full picture. That's kind of what it looks like. You get the idea. And then you do a border at the end. really excited about this pattern because I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a dragon wing. And he was like, totally does. The second pattern is sizing. Okay. Mechanical Bell by Lisa Tomko. So she sent me her sock pattern and it is gorgeous. Can I just say a really, really huge thank you to everyone who has cued a cog in the machine or favorited it or bought the kit. Oh my gosh, some people bought the kit for my shawl. I'm like a proud mom. I'm so excited about that. Really, really, that means so much to me and like made my everything, my week. It's just the response that you guys have had for that shawl is amazing. And I'm really, really proud that I made it, that I designed it. So thank you guys so, so much for being awesome, basically. Thank you. I mean, if you didn't like it, I would like to hear that too. I like feedback, but that everybody has been so nice about it and so so interested in it. It's fabulous. And again, that there'll be links, but you can get the kit through Marigold Jen, and the pattern will be available only through the kit for a little while, and then it will be available for Ravelry download after. The last thing that I got is this, which I have not started reading, but Spinner's Book of Fleece and Fiber by Beth Smith. I'm excited. So the subtitle is A Breed by Breed Guide to Choosing and Spinning the Perfect Fiber for Every Purpose, which is amazing because I've wanted a fiber book for a while, but I haven't gotten one because books are expensive and my local library doesn't have, I don't think they have a ton of them, unless I'm totally just missing the spinning section. There are knitting books and crocheting books, but not really spinning books, and other various crafting books, quilting. I haven't come across a spinning book. I'm probably just not looking in the right spot. But Amazon had the Kindle version of that on sale for $4. I don't know if that was a one-day thing, but people were posting it up on Instagram, and I was like, mine, I can pay $4 for an ebook. I would love to pay full price for all of the books all the time to support the authors, but 2 small children, they're expensive. School is so expensive. I'm just throwing that out there. I did not remember how expensive school was, but it is really, really expensive. Oh, I totally forgot my sock yarn blanket. I put in a few squares, not a lot. I actually put in more squares than are on my blanket right now, but I accidentally put squares in the wrong spot. I have a plan to put a row of the big squares across the top the same way that they are on the bottom, and I accidentally put small squares where a big square was supposed to be, so I had to rip them out. So it's in timeout. It's in my bedroom, and I will be showing it next week. There's progress, but I'm angry with it right now. I am still reading The Magician's Land by Lev Grossman. It's so, so good. If you haven't started the trilogy, I highly recommend it if you like anything fantasy-based, especially Harry Potter or Chronicles of Narnia. It's very much like those two got together and had a child, and you meet the child when it is 18 and go from there. It's brilliant. I love it. It's very well written. There is there's action and suspense and romance-ish. Not a lot, just a little, just a hint. It's definitely not a romance book. The last thing for today is enabling-ish. I don't have any new things to show you. However, Nooch Fiber is having a knit along next month for their yarn. Any project, any yarn, it doesn't have to be solely Nooch yarn. I believe. Reread the thread, the rules in the thread. I'll post a link. But I really, really like Nooch stuff, so I will have to figure out something to make out of Nooch yarn that I have. And it's going to be really fun. There is a coupon code in the thread in the Nooch group, which you will have to go find because I would feel bad if I just told you the coupon code thing for something that's not particularly for me. But it's good through November 1st, so you have weeks in which to find it via the link that will be in the show notes. And I will show you some of the Nooch yarn that I have so that you know why I'm in love with it. First, I will show you the leftovers of the socks that I just finished. So this is the Hobbitses colorway. This is the 100% superwash merino fingering weight base. They have lots of bases. I think I have 3 here. This is Central Park fingering, so it is a single, and this colorway is Storm. Nooch yarns are all one-off skeins. So if you wanted to make a bigger project with like 2 skeins, you could custom order. She does custom order so that you can get lots that are all the same color. This is the Tribeca Sport in the Deep Sea Diver colorway, which Haley gave me. I believe that this is also the 100% superwash fingering weight. This is in the Murky 2 colorway. And then totally different from all of those, because I mean, these all kind of look similar-ish. Totally different from all of those is the pair of socks that I made for Steve using Nooch, and these are well-loved socks. They're in the 100% superwash base, so you can see that they're, there's a little bit of wear to them, but they're holding up really well. This colorway, I don't even know what this colorway is called, but it's also Nooch, and they do some really nice tonals, but they also do a lot of variegateds. And the yarn is all really good quality. It works up very nicely, holds up really well to a lot of wear. I would say that since I made these socks, they've been worn once a week, and I put my socks through the washing machine because I just do, and they're fine. There's a little bit of, there's a little bit of wear here, but nothing's wearing through, nothing's wearing thin. It's just a little bit of pilling, as is the nature with 100% superwash merino. But they're doing fine on Steve's feet, and he is hard on his socks. Not right this minute because he's on leave from work still, but when he's not on leave from work, he is a sales rep, which means he goes door to door a lot of days, which is a lot of walking, and he wears these to work. And they're holding up pretty well. I don't know how old these socks are. A year, probably. Yeah, I think about a year. I don't know. I'll put a thing down at the bottom right here to tell you how old they are, but they're wearing really well. All of the socks that I've made out of Nutra stuff has worn really well. I made the graphic infection shawl out of that, and it looks great still, so love their stuff. And if you're interested, go and join me, because I'll be knitting something. I mean, I have 2 skeins in which to figure out a project, so I'll be knitting something. Oh, the prizes over there. There are 5 skeins of yarn offered up, not as like one big lump, but like 5 different prize winners. So how cool would that be? And I think they are, I think 4 of them are the winner's choice. And one of them, I don't think is actually a skein of yarn. I think it's a kit, and that would be the dyer's choice. But those are really cool. So come play along. and I will see you next week. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string.